Are Dollar Tree crochet hooks absolutely amazing, or are they a total waste of money? Well, today I'm going to be testing these two Dollar Tree crochet hooks to see if they are dynamite or a dud. Dollar Tree is known for its budget-friendly products, from cleaning supplies to holiday decorations and everything in between. My local Dollar Tree is stocking more and more craft supplies, so last Saturday I headed over to see what I could find. Dollar Tree can be really hit or miss when it comes to crochet supplies, but I'm here at my local store and I'm just gonna go in and see what I can find. I've had some good luck in the past, so I'm crossing my fingers. I hit the mother lode. I found so many amazing things. I can't wait to show you. In total, I spent $72.76 and got 55 different items. I did go a little crazy, but I found so many amazing things, not just crochet hooks, but yarn, organizing supplies, other crafty things that I can use for crocheting and knitting, and I will be sharing all of those with you after I test these crochet hooks. I got two different crochet hook styles and I'm going to be testing both of them, but at the end of the video, I'm going to show you my entire haul because I got so many amazing things. Hi, I'm Elise and I want to share a free resource that I have for you, and that is my website, eliserosecrochet.com. There you're going to find hundreds of blog posts with pattern reviews, product tests, and free patterns, just to name a few, and I will link it down in the description box below. But you'll also find a Pinterest pin in every single blog post if you want to save it so that you can come back to the information later on. The first crochet hook I'm going to try is the Crafter's Choice. It's the metal ergonomic crochet hook, and it is a 4.5 millimeter, and that is the only size that I could find in my local Dollar Tree. I did go on the website and find that there are other sizes available, a 5 millimeter and a 5.5 millimeter, but you cannot buy them individually online. They only allow you to buy them in quantities of 24. The Dollar Tree hooks remind me of two different crochet hooks that I have, and that is the Clover Amour, and I also have a generic Hobby Lobby set, and these seem to be the most similar. The first thing that I am noticing about this crochet hook is that the size is engraved here on the thumb rest, which I really like. I don't like when they print them on the handle because they end up rubbing off, so I like that feature. Another thing I notice is that the Dollar Tree hook is much more like the Clover Soft Touch than it is like the Clover Amour and the generic Hobby Lobby hooks that I thought it was going to be more similar to, and that's because it's a more flat handle and it's also a hard plastic. This is not squishy rubber, and it also has that large thumb rest just like the Clover Soft Touch. Now the Clover Soft Touch costs between $6 and $9, and I paid $1.25 for this one. Another thing that I notice is that the metal part of the crochet hook is nice and long, and that is a big plus for me. I don't like it when they're short. The first thing I'm noticing is the size of the crochet hook. So this is the Clover Soft Touch, this is the Clover Amour, this is the Dollar Tree hook, and this is the generic Hobby Lobby hook. So I like that it is a larger size hook, it's longer. It also has the longest metal part of any of these ergonomic crochet hooks. This is the Just Yarn worsted, and I'm just going to make a little swatch. I'm just going to do some chains and do some double crochets. The first thing I'm noticing, it's a little bit draggy. Not bad though, honestly. I have used smoother crochet hooks, but I've also used worse crochet hooks. I bought the Yarnus set off of Amazon maybe a year ago, and that has so much drag, and this one is definitely better. It's not as smooth as something like a Clover Amour, but this one was only $1.25. One trick I learned is if you want to smooth out a metal crochet hook is to just take a piece of just a brown paper bag. What I read is that it acts as like a very fine sandpaper. And so I'm just gonna rub this and let's just see if this works a little bit. I'm not sure if that made a difference. Maybe a little bit. It's worth trying because it's not gonna hurt the crochet hook. And it might be even slightly better, but I'm honestly surprised that a crochet hook this budget friendly, it was only $1.25, is this nice, to be honest. I'm pretty impressed with this little crochet hook, and it will be interesting to see how it holds up over time. But let me give you my list of pros, and there are a few cons. The first is the cost. You can't beat $1.25 for a crochet hook. Number two is the smoothness of the metal. For a crochet hook that costs $1.25, I expected it to be much worse. Like I said, I bought that Yarnus set off of Amazon last year, and that metal is, to me, unusable. I would never use those crochet hooks, but I would use this one. And number three, one of the biggest pros is the length of the crochet hook itself. I don't like super short crochet hooks, and I love that it's got this long metal part. Now, there are some cons, and the first and probably the biggest is the fact that they only have 3 sizes available. It would be great if this came in all of the different sizes, but as of right now, there are only the 4.5, the 5, and the 5.5 millimeter crochet hooks. Number two, the handle isn't my favorite part of the crochet hook. I do prefer that rubbery texture, and this is more like a hard plastic, but that's just a personal preference, and I know some people will like this one better. The third con is the thumb rest. Now, for some people, this is gonna be a definite pro, and I hold my crochet hook like a knife, so this is perfect for me, but I could see that if you do hold your crochet hook like a pencil, that this could cause problems. I'm not really sure since I'm not a pencil holder, but that would be my third con. My final impression of this hook is one of surprise. I wasn't expecting to like this crochet hook as much as I do, but I would love to know from those of you who have been using this Dollar Tree crochet hook for any length of time, how is it holding up? Make sure to leave that in the comment section because I know I'm curious about it and I think other people would be as well. Let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Helix Sleep. I'm a big believer in the value of a good night's sleep, and that's why I am so excited to introduce you to Helix Sleep. They make premium mattresses customized to fit your needs and conveniently shipped to your front door. Helix also has a sleep quiz that is going to customize your mattress based on your preferences and your body type. My son Benjamin was in desperate need of a new mattress. He was waking up with a sore back every single morning. We went on the website and took the quiz, and because he is a side sleeper and he likes a medium firm mattress, he was paired with the Midnight Luxe model. And because he's also a very hot sleeper, he was paired with the Glacio Tex cooling cover. It's made from high thermal conductivity fibers that quickly and effectively pull heat away from your body. He's been using the mattress for about a week now, and he's no longer waking up with a sore back, and as a mom, that makes me really happy. I'm a big fan of the hybrid combination of foam and springs that provides the perfect balance of comfort and support. The mattress came rolled up in a box, and it was super easy to set up. We unboxed it, we unwrapped it, and we watched it inflate. It was so cute while Benjamin and I were setting up the mattress that Miss Olive, our cat, jumped up onto the mattress to check it out, and she definitely gave her stamp of approval. And I love that Helix delivers it right to your front door, and you also get free shipping in the United States. And if you're worried about buying a mattress online, Helix offers a 100-night sleep trial so that you can make sure that you love it. Helix mattresses come with a 10-year warranty and are fiberglass free, so you can sleep easy and know that you're not being exposed to harmful materials. They also offer financing and flexible payment options. My son Benjamin loves his Helix mattress, and I think you will too. And if you're looking for a new mattress, make sure to visit helixsleep.com/Elise Rose Crochet to get 20% off your next mattress and get 2 free pillows. Thank you so much to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video. The next crochet hooks that I'm going to try are the Crafter's Choice. These are the plastic hooks, and I have a 6 and a 6.5 millimeter. But before we begin, I do think it's important for me to fully disclose that I am not a fan of plastic hooks at all. I've never liked them. I have used them in the past, and I'm not the biggest fan, so I am going to try to go into this with an open mind. So my first impressions are, number one, you get 2 hooks for $1.25. That's a pretty good deal. Number 2 is that the size is engraved here on the crochet hook, so it's not going to rub off, and also it's very large, which I like, so that I can be able to see it really well. I took them out of their case, and another thing that I'm noticing is that they're even longer than the metal hook, which is good, and they do have this cute little detail down at the bottom of the hook. I think that's a really nice touch. But let's test them out and see what they can do. I'm going to just continue with my little swatch here. And my very first impression is that they are a bit smoother than the plastic crochet hooks I've used in the past, which that's a bit of a surprise. But they still are plastic crochet hooks. And this one particularly feels a little bit flimsy to me, like I can bend it a little bit. And that would definitely concern me if I was trying to crochet something like amigurumi toys. But if you were doing something that the stitches weren't super tight, you might be able to get away with it. So here are the pros of these crochet hooks, and number one, I don't think you can get much better than $1.25 for 2 crochet hooks. That's pretty good. I'd have to do the math on that. How much? So 50. What is that, like 67 cents, 66 cents, something like that? Let me do the math really quick. And that's 62 cents approximately per crochet hook. That's a pretty good deal. Number 2, these are fairly smooth for plastic crochet hooks. And I think if you were doing a project where you didn't have tight stitches, maybe you were making a blanket or a garment, and you had the right yarn with this, I think it could work out okay. Next, I do think that the colors and the size of the hooks are nice. They're pretty. I like the little detail there. Just looking at them, they look nice. So I think that's a pro. Now here are the cons. Number 1, they only come in 6 sizes: 4 and 4.5 millimeter, 5 and 5.5 millimeter, and 6 and 6.5 millimeter. And these were the only sizes that I could find at my local Dollar Tree. And number 2, and I think the biggest con for me, is that they do feel flimsy, and I wonder in the smaller sizes if they feel even flimsier. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is bending. And the reason why this would be a problem for me is that I mostly make amigurumi, and you're making tight single crochet stitches over and over, and this just wouldn't work well for me. And I did get 6 different skeins of yarn while I was at Dollar Tree, and I picked up 3 of the Just Yarn worsted. This is a fantastic yarn. I'm not going to test it again, but I will leave a link for that video if you want to see me test it out in the description box below. I got the colors rose, mustard, and classic blue. But one thing I noticed once I got home was that this mustard skein is 153 yards and the blue one is 109 yards, and they're both $1.25. So that is definitely something to keep in mind when you're shopping at Dollar Tree and picking up yarn. They may be different sizes. I also picked up 1 skein of the Just Cotton by Premier, and this, funny enough, is 85% cotton and 15% polyester, so it's not just cotton. It does have a little polyester in there, but let's test it out. I'm using the Dollar Tree hook to see how this combination works together. This definitely has the feel of a more budget-friendly cotton, which is fine. It's $1.25. It is a budget-friendly cotton. But it does have some nice stitch definition, which I do like that in a cotton yarn. I also bought 3 skeins of the Just Chenille in yellow, pink, and cocoa. This is a number 6 super bulky weight 100% polyester yarn, and it's 65 yards. I'll be really interested to see how this yarn works up, because one of the things that I don't like about chenille yarn is when they shed a lot, and they usually shed when you're trying to frog them back. So I'm going to test this out, but I'm also going to frog it to see what happens when I try to undo those stitches. First thing I'm noticing is that it is very soft. which I would expect with a 100% polyester chenille yarn. And like all chenille yarns, I have a really hard time seeing the stitches, so I just tried to feel them more than anything. Here's the little swatch. Now let's see how this frogs. I didn't see any shedding, but you can see that the yarn thinned out and just the strand is showing in some parts. Once I was winding the yarn back, there was a little bit of shedding, but not a lot, so that's a good thing. The next yarn I'm going to test is the Crafter's Square that I got at Dollar Tree. This is 90% polyester and 10% acrylic. It has 132 yards, and I have looked all over this label to see where the weight of the yarn is, and I cannot find it anywhere. I do think that it's a worsted weight, but it's nowhere on the label that I can see. Now, I haven't heard a lot of great things about the Crafter's Square yarn from Dollar Tree, but I'm going into this with an open mind and just going to see how it works for me. I'm not a big fan of this. It doesn't feel super good in my hands. I think the Just Yarn worsted is way better. It's a much better quality yarn. The stitch definition isn't too bad, and I'm actually surprised about that. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. And then the final yarn we're going to try is the Dollar Tree Crafter's Square Color Pop yarn. I thought this was a really pretty color, so I'm excited to try it. Now this one does say that it's a number 3 lightweight yarn and it is 100% acrylic, but one thing that it doesn't tell you is what color it is. I don't see the color name written anywhere here, but it is like a robin's egg blue or an aqua color with some flecks of mustard and some darker blue. Just to be honest, my already initial feeling is that I like this one just based on the feel less than I did the other Crafter's Square. Oof, this does not feel nice. I'm not enjoying this one. Another thing that I'm noticing is that these little pops of color are incredibly underwhelming. You can barely see them, which I think is the whole point of this yarn, but yeah, no. And the stitch definition, it's not as nice as the other ones. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of this one. I also ended up picking up a bunch of different clear containers. These are glass. I really like these, and I love that they have this little sealed top. I think these are fantastic, but I also got different styles. These are also great because they lay sideways like this, and these are also glass and they have the little metal top. I love these. These will look so great. I think that I will put yarn scraps in these. I think that would look so amazing because I save all my yarn scraps. And if you watched, not last week, but 2 weeks ago, I have a whole video about yarn scraps. And this is a great way to be able to separate them by weight. If you want to put all of your worsted weight yarns, if you want to put all your DK, I just think this is a great idea. I also picked up these smaller ones, and now these are plastic, but they do have the little metal top on them as well. And I got some even smaller. These are just the plastic ones. And I think this one could be great for safety eyes or other notions that you might want to keep in your craft room. I also picked up these 2 plastic containers right here. I'll find something to put in them. They have a little pink tint to them, and I thought that they looked so pretty, and you could stack them on top of each other. And I also like that the lids lock into place. I also got 3 of these little plastic bins, and I think that these would be perfect for putting patterns or pattern books or notebooks and things like that that you want to keep organized. But you could also use these to store yarn, especially if you were working on a project and you wanted to keep the yarn a little bit separate. I think these are so pretty with those gorgeous cutouts on them. Oh my gosh, I love when you find storage solutions that are beautiful as well as functional. I also got 2 of these smaller little plastic bins. These are a real hard plastic, but they also have that little bit of shimmer on them. I think these are so pretty, and you could use these for a lot of different things. I end up with a lot of pencils and pens and things like that in my craft room, and I think something like this would be great for storage or to put my crochet hooks, my knitting needles. I really do like these. I also love these little wire baskets. I got this one is a larger round one, and I've got a few skeins of yarn in here, and then I've got this little smaller one, and I think this one would be great for putting crochet hooks in. I also got a pack of these little small plastic containers, and my vision for these is to separate my safety eyes by size, and I have a little storage one for them right now, but honestly I think they're a little bit too small. Something like this will be bigger and I can label them all, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a minute. I also got 2 of these larger metal ones, which I think you could put all kinds of different things, yarn needles, stitch markers, anything in these. I also got this pack of 8 little tiny containers. I can think of a lot of different things to use with these. I also picked up these little finger protectors, which I'm going to try and use these when I am weaving in a lot of ends and the needle starts to wear on my fingers and they start to hurt. So I'm excited to try these. I also got this cute little pin cushion. I love that fabric. I got a pair of scissors, and I got these magnetic buttons. I'm going to use these when I'm weaving in my ends, and I'm going to stick those needles on here so that I don't lose them down into the depths of my couch cushions, never to be seen again. Now, something that wasn't super practical as a crocheter that I bought was this cutting mat, but I can see using this if I had a lot of fringe that I needed to cut. I could lay it on the mat and use a rotary blade and cut. These can be really expensive, so for $1.25, I'm really happy to have this. Now, I got these clothespins because I am going to make little color swatches with them. I don't know what they're called. There's a name for them and it's escaping my mind right now, but you just wrap a little bit of yarn around them and you're able to figure out different color combinations, and you'll just have a little sample of your yarn, and this is the perfect size. Now, another thing that I bought were these little alphabet beads, and that's because so many of you in the comment section have told me that you always save on your project what size crochet hook you're using, and you just pin it to the project itself, especially if you put it down and you're not going to come back to it for a while, and I thought that is genius, so I had to have these. Next, I picked up some paper clips, and I'm going to be using them in the traditional way to keep papers together, but also I have found that these are great stitch markers, especially the ones that are plastic coated and they're not just metal. Plus, these are so pretty and I can always use paper clips. Now for all of my storage solutions, I have the chalkboard stickers and the chalkboard pen. That way I can label what everything is, and I just love their different sizes here, so everything can be labeled and super organized. I probably won't keep it that way, but I can start out that way and it'll be so pretty. I also got a couple of different notebooks, and this one is cute. It's pink and it's got the lined sheets in here, and for $1.25 for a nice little notebook like this, I really do appreciate that because I'm always scribbling little notes and I always need a notebook. And then I also found these 2 larger ones. They don't have quite as many sheets in them, but they are bullet journal style and they are absolutely gorgeous. This one especially looks like something from Rifle Paper Company, and it would be way more expensive than $1.25, but I think these are so pretty and I will definitely be using these. I hope today's video was helpful and that it answered a few of your questions. Make sure to let me know in the comment section if you use any of these Dollar Tree crochet hooks or any of the yarns, and give us your opinions. That's always super helpful, but I hope you have a great rest of your week. Stay safe and happy stitching.